The only other major, and major is probably generous, but the only other real heavyweight program is Abyss versus Lance Hoyt.
Lance Hoyt defeated David Young.
Your favorite wrestler, David Young.
Yep.
That's the July 22nd Impact. Abyss immediately jumps Hoyt. Young tries to stand up to Abyss and gets dropped with a shock treatment. Hoyt eats a black hole slam as Abyss gets his heat back from the pay-per-view. And Mitchell calls Abyss a weapon of mass destruction, and he holds the detonator. I did appreciate that. I hate when they do angles like this, where it's like, alright, fair enough, Abyss shows up and interrupts the first match after he loses a pay-per-view main event to get his heat back. I hate when the two guys are just guys who get killed for the sake of getting killed.
Like this built to something.
Yeah, I really did appreciate that. You know, he killed Hoyt, but then he spun off into a pay-per-view program with Hoyt. So thumbs up for that. Because, like, nothing makes you seem like a bigger goober than when somebody comes out, interrupts your match, and then you're not the point of that. It's like, get out. Yeah. You're not a star. You're not important. Mitchell did a promo on the July 29th Impact. He was backstage in like a boiler room lit red, and
very sexy.
He and Abyss just look so perfect together in that shot.
Yeah, they're like a perfect pairing.
It's just that, again, it's the TNA thing where I appreciate, like, they found a setting that kind of matched Abyss and Mitchell and lit it for, like, properly, and then it's just those two in that setting, and it's like, oh, that's just, they're just right together. They're just two people who are right together.
Yeah.
Mitchell was talking about how the TNA officials are mad at Abyss beating people up last week, which is pretty understandable.
Yeah, like, there should be some sort of repercussions, I guess.
Though also, if I was like, Abyss or a David Young match, I'd take Abyss. So you know what? Better TV show.
Yeah. If you're like the bookers, you're like, well, you know what?
Mitchell doesn't plan to wait in line for another title shot. Everybody in Abyss's way is prey, and Lance Hoyt was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
But David Young was in the wrong place at the right time.
He's always in the wrong place at the right time.
The ring. It's the meanest thing I've ever said to David Young.
You used to defend poor David Young.
I don't mind David Young. I just, like, who can possibly get excited for David Young?
He's a company original.
Ooh.
He's been around since day one. Whether or not he should be is a different question, but he's been around since day one.
Or Estrada should be here instead.
Or Jimmy Yang.
Or AJ Styles.
August 5th, Impact. Abyss defeated Apollo.
Alright, next match.
I do feel like these two would probably have a killer match in Puerto Rico.
Just like plunder it up?
Yeah, where Apollo's actually over and they both just bleed and do plunder.
What if at Backlash they ran Abyss versus Apollo?
I would have popped through the ceiling.
You would have flown to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I did actually look. They did a couple of matches in 2003, I think. I didn't even look to see where they ever make tape. So I don't have firm commitment to my Abyss and Apollo would have a good match in Puerto Rico take, but they did have a couple.
If someone has the footage, send it to us.
The crowd are in firm Abyss territory here.
It's good stuff.
Abyss tried to use a chair, but Apollo sidekicked it into his head twice, but then Abyss just won with the black hole slam. They still, like, this wasn't a complete squash. They gave Apollo something, because sometimes they do just, like, completely squash the Aki, and they're still not quite in the Abyss will just kill Apollo state, but they're pretty close.
They should be.
Hoyt came out, clotheslined Abyss over the ropes as Mitchell encouraged Abyss to back down. Hoyt said they messed with the wrong man, and then encouraged the crowd to chant Hoyt, which they did.
Hoyt, 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 Hoyt.
And then last Impact of the pay-per-view cycle, franchise has Hoyt. Sacrifice is going to be his opportunity, but then Abyss jumps him with a chair. And Abyss says, now Hoyt has made it personal, and it's going to be the worst mistake of his life.
Abyss says that? That's crazy. How articulate.
Well, James Mitchell said it, but as opposed to me, who is not very articulate. Again, another little touch in that, like, they didn't give a shit about Hoyt. He's just like, oh, but you brought this back to us, so now you will suffer.
Yeah. How dare you? How dare you defend yourself?
Yeah, you could have just slunk off into the distance, but now you're going to get your ass kicked multiple times. Sacrifice August 14, Abyss defeated Lance Hoyt in a match that kind of kicked ass.
Yeah, kind of kicked ass.
Because it's a period where both are super over. You have the Hoytamaniacs versus the Whoa Abyssers.
Although the Whoa Abyss has beaten the Hoytamaniac.
Yeah, the spirit of the Whoa Abyss is too powerful.
Well, if Hoyt had a singy song thing, he might have a chance.
Well, they do chant Hoyt.
Hoyt, Hoyt.
I was going to ask you to come up with your own Hoyt song, but you just stole the Whoa Abyss.
Hoyt, baby.
You know what? That wouldn't have been too bad.
There you go.
Hoyt hits a chokeslam and a moonsault, but Abyss kicks out. Abyss hits a black hole slam, but Hoyt kicks out, which I think is a big compliment to Hoyt. They're trying to make him here by letting him kick out of a black hole slam. And maybe he shouldn't, but you know what? If he's going to lose, and he lost to Bobby Roode as well. If you're going to try and make him in
Really
defeat,
fucking up this Hoyt thing.
yeah, and like he'll lose through the rest of the year, and then the momentum is gone, and then you're like, well, you know what? There was something there, but how much was there? We'll never know. But there was something there. Hoyt boots a chair into Abyss for another near fall. Then Hoyt hits the highlight of the match, which is a springboard coast to coast drop kick into a chair.
Based.
Impact Zone goes absolutely apeshit for. Abyss kicks out, hits a second black hole slam for the win. At the very least, if the idea of the match was to make Hoyt in defeat, or at least elevate Hoyt in defeat, I think they achieved it.
So you said the Impact Zone, and in my head I was like, it's not the Honor Zone.
It's the most upsetting thing you've ever said to me.
My brain has been poisoned.
Your fucking 19-match Ring of Honor has wormed its way in. There's probably already been more Ring of Honor matches in the Honor Zone, given how many matches are on every episode of the television show. So...
jokes on you, none of them were in the Honor Zone.
all 19 matches were like pre-Dynamite tapings?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, fuck off. Why is that show like that? Why?
I hope that's not true and I'm just making stuff up. It's better.
Yeah, Abyss wins, beats Hoyt. Underrated match, one of those matches nobody remembers, but kind of rock.